What's up, guys? How you doing? Hey to Dexy. Okay, so let's get started on this character. So I'll turn on the references. So I'm using the Instigator, the first cultist we ever did, plus the cultist witch, because she's gonna be moving at the same frame rate as the cultist witch, which is 30. And she has two poses, two animations. So she has no spear and then spear. And I have the no spear pieces hidden right now. Yeah, they're hidden. No spear knife and then no spear weapon. It's pretty simple, the animation. Nothing really changes. So the weapon turns into the knife, and then the knife disappears from the satchel or the holster. So that's the two animations she has, and that's because what's up, Dark Raven? She throws the harpoon at someone and like pins them in place. And that's like her whole gimmick, is that she pins one of your heroes in place so they can't move. Okay, so let's go back to the spear because that's the main one. I turned off her leg. Okay, turn that back on. Turn that one off. Okay, so yeah, let's just get into it. This one's gonna be a lot of meshes, unfortunately, so that's gonna be pretty time consuming, but it should be fine. She looks really nice. One of my favorite cultists so far. Cool, thanks. Okay. So let's get started. Let me close all these. Okay, so everything, all of the base stuff that we need is there. Sorry if you can hear the lawnmower in the back. So let's start with the hips, as usual, because that's the starting point for most characters. So about there, and then the spine, and the neck. So then this side, and this side. This arm goes like that. Okay, and I'll start naming the bones now so I don't forget. Hips. Spine lower. I'm gonna try to be pretty quick now, from now on the streams. Because I was able to complete the last guy in like 2.5 hours, which I thought was pretty great, and that'd be awesome if I had if I was able to do that for all the characters and still maintain the same level of quality. So clavicle, right side, and then humerus, right, arm right. And then this is the palm. Okay. This should be a pretty simple one. Bone-wise, it should be simple. The meshes is going to take a little bit. That's fine. Okay, so this one's going to be an IK to this. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Because I got to keep in mind that I'm going to have two animations for this arm. One with the spear and then one with the knife. So I don't think I want to do this. Yeah, that's probably fine, actually. Probably what will end up happening is I'll move the point that's going to be here for the IK rather than the bone that's going to be here for the spear. If that makes any sense. It'll probably make sense once I do it. So, constraints. I'll put it right there. Okay. And then this will just have to be connected to the spear, which I'll do right now. There we go. What's up, Nasira? How are you doing? I've seen the colorized version. And it's really hyping. Yeah, well, I'm not like super happy with all the colored versions of the Abyssal dudes right now. That's normal because usually what happens is I do like a really rough first color and then I see it in game and then I do whatever changes I need to. And since I did all of those in one go at Comic-Con, they're all really rough. And I'm actually planning on like redoing a lot of those. But I'm glad that you're hyped for those. This goes to spear. Oh, I didn't name this one? I thought I named this clavicle, but okay. Strings are really helpful when I want to animate too. Yeah, that's good to hear. That's what I planned on. That's what I was planning for when I first started doing these, was that it'd be helpful for people who wanted to get into more complicated modding for Darkest Dungeon. An arm, right? No, this is the left side. So why did she not have a harpoon in the other pose? Does she throw? Yeah, she throws it into people, and then that's her whole gimmick, is she pins people down by throwing harpoons into them. No Sira. Okay, cool. Humorous, very humorous. What's up, Cerulean Turtle? How you doing? Abyssal Factions in color. Yeah, I posted the first like rough pass of the colored versions on Patreon for the $10 reward. Okay, so let's create the legs. This would actually be right here. I'm trying to think if I want this to be IK. I think so. Yeah, I'll probably make it IK. No, I'm not gonna make it IK, because then it starts bending in weird directions, and that just looks really bad. I'll just do it the normal way. This will be a fun one though. I like this character. It's a really fun gimmick trying to fight against this character. There's a lot of times where I had to retreat because this character would wreck me super hard. Because I wasn't prepared to fight it. Or I didn't have a good team comp for dealing with it. So thigh. Okay. That's awesome. Thanks, dude. Okay. So this is the leg. And the foot. Okay, let me think what else. All that set up. I should be able to move this individually for the animation. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's work on the head. And then on that would be a piece for the helmet. That should all be good. Should be fine. I don't need a breathing control because her mouth is here, not down here. I do need one for over here though. So let's do that. Oh, right there. And let's connect the effects dot to upper spine. All that's good. Let's work on these fingers. Okay. What's she doing game? So she has like this one. She has a two-step move that she does, which is super deadly. The first one is that she impales someone, like throws a spear into them, and that immobilizes them and like pins them in place so that they can't move and your heroes can't move past them. So that could screw up your comp if you get surprised or one of the cultists pulls you and then she pins them down. Then that could really screw you up. The second part of that is that she pulls the harpoon out of the pinned hero, and that does like a ridiculous amount of damage, but it unimmobilizes the character, so then you can move again. But usually when that happens, your character dies because it does so much damage, and it's It's that plus a bleed, so it could kill. There are ways around it, though. Which one is this one? Finger right one. So that's her whole gimmick. Her weakness, though, is that she's really easy to kill. So if you focus her down, you could probably kill her. She's pretty deadly. She's also the fastest cultist among in the whole faction. I think she's at speed 10. So she's likely to go first and screw you up, but who knows? Let's place the belt, and then this is the buckle. I'll actually make this 2 parts. Yeah, she's deadly though. I've come to notice that a lot of what makes the enemies hard in this dungeon is that stress is like 1/3 of the damage they do, and then actual damage is like 2/3 of what they do. Like most of the time, you're worrying about health rather than stress, because a lot of like the big threats in this dungeon do like regular damage rather than stress. And of course, there's like enemies that are based around stress, like they do almost entirely stress damage, and they do a lot of it. But most of the time, you're actually worrying about the damage you're taking rather than the stress you're taking, which is interesting because you almost always want to take a stress healer, and usually the cost of taking a stress healer is that character is losing something in return. Like the Crusader loses damage projection to 3 and 4, and then the Jester loses the fact that he's the most fragile character, and his damage is almost entirely bleeds and such. So it's an interesting trade-off, but I'm okay with it. I feel like Man-at-Arms is really useful in this dungeon for sure, because he's got like the guards and the stuns and everything. Yeah, the Man-at-Arms is of course super useful, and given that he's also like one of the strongest characters, you know. What's up, Calamity Cats? How you doing? I need to get better at this game. It is a really deadly dungeon. I did a long run the other day, and I almost lost. I almost lost the long run, because the thing about having a dungeon that's 2/3 damage and then 1/3 stress is that in a long run that actually builds up. So having only 1/3 of the enemies do stress means that over the long run of the dungeon, if you decide not to bring the stress healer because you know that most of your damage is going to be regular damage, then in a long dungeon, that stress really builds up. And I ended the dungeon with all 4 heroes afflicted, and I was pretty lucky that I didn't get screwed over by that at the very end. It could have gone really bad. So this is we'll make this 2, and then that connects to this one. That should be good. This is all good. That's all good. Let's create a point for the thumb here. Lamia, Cultist, Houndmaster, Man-at-Arms will probably rock the dungeon. Yeah, probably. I just watch out for things that can target rank 3 and 4, because those are 2 pretty squishy characters, and there's a lot of enemies that actually do a lot of damage to those positions. So you just want to be careful of those. Okay, so I gotta make sure to color these differently, this rope, because it's gonna be pretty close to the loincloth when I do that. So make this. Okay, now I gotta name all the ones I didn't name, so rope, belt right 1. Okay. Stuns, heals, damage reduction, guards. All you ever need. Yeah, it's a good comp. It's interesting that Lamias are, when I run them in the dungeon, the biggest worry I have with the Lamia is that she can get one-shotted really easy. Because she's so squishy, plus she has really low resistances to bleed. And there's definitely a higher amount of bleeds in this dungeon than there are blights, but there are still a good number of blights. But having so many enemies with like big crit bleed attacks makes it so that having a Lamia is kind of hard. But you know, obviously there's ways around that, like having a second healer or having a guard. But it's still pretty hard. You said they were going to be set in this region, including your heroes, correct? Does this include DLC characters or no? You said there was going to be set for this region. I don't quite understand the question, Dedexy. I might need a little bit of elaboration. Trinkets? Oh, I got it. Okay, set trinkets. That makes more sense. Yeah, there'll be set trinkets for all the base classes, all of the modded characters I've made, and then all the DLC characters. This is a tassel, so tassel left. So I think that totals up to around, how many classes are there? There's 17 including all the DLC. I made 4, so that's 21 characters, so there'll be, that's 42 trinkets for all the characters. Okay, so we're almost done with the skeleton, which is good. It's not a it's 2 animations, but the 2 animations aren't like super complicated, which is great. I need to make sure to name all these. Okay, so I gotta make all these different colors, so let's make them red. And then we can create the loincloth. There we go. So this is loincloth. Forty-two trinkets for the characters, 3 trophies. That leaves us with 8 other rewards. Yep. So much to do before spring. Yeah. Of course, you know, I estimated this was going to be after the DLC, so that's looking like what it's going to be. Is a release after the DLC, which is fine because I'm sure the DLC will bring a lot of new tools, or it might cause, you know, like incompatibility issues if they like restructure their folders, like for modding. But that's fine. This is the hip, so let's make it 2. Same here. So let's redo that. Hip cloth, right 1. If I remember correctly, Seraph was released way before you had, before what you had planned. Yeah, I definitely spent like the first month just planning things out for this dungeon. That's what I was doing after I released the Seraph. On the side, along with like doing the balance changes and keeping up with the community and making sure the Seraph was well received. It's most of the big changes that happen to my mods happen in like the first week because I do a lot of like reading feedback and then like understanding if the character I made is OP or not. That looks all good. Okay, cool. Time to connect everything then. This will go to the hand, which is right here. Oh no, this is the one that goes to the hand. This one goes to the holster, which I think I forgot to name actually. Okay, it is this one. You remember to go back and name all those. Let me actually check to see if there's any I didn't name. No, it looks good. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. Okay, so let's connect the rest then. Okay, so this is somewhere. This is the left arm, so here it is. Okay. This whole section is gonna need I'll actually connect this to the clavicle, because the left humerus is actually like one huge part that makes up like part of the hood along with the arm. So I gotta mesh that. So she's gonna burst you, then be a bit weaker using her knife. So the idea is that she bursts you, and then she either just pulls the spear out like immediately, or she just stabs you with a weak attack. But the harpoon attack, the one where she pins you down, also marks. So whoever gets harpooned is most likely going to be targeted heavily by the rest of the cultists. Feet. Okay, where are the feet? Here they are. Right side. Here they are. The belt. The weapon itself. Here they are. Just connecting these pieces slowly. Takes me a while to find the bones for some reason. Here it is. Okay. And the rope belt should be here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Torso is good where it is. The thumb. Let's see, where's the holster? Here it is. Fingers. And the arm. Yeah, I'll connect it to the clavicle as well. So, here it is. Okay, so that's everything connected, so when I move it, when I move the skeleton, everything should move with it. Everything that needs to move at least. Okay. Wait a minute, that's the hips, so... Oh, it's not even connected in it, so let's put that there. Cool. Okay, so now I gotta mesh everything. Let's save. So what do I want to start with? Let's do the big one. This part's almost never going to be seen. Watching these streams is very slowly teaching me how to use Fine. That's great to hear, dude. Of course, I'll have the VODs available if you want to ever review any of this. So, something like that. This would be bending points for the body. That should be good. Right here as well. Something like that. Okay, yeah, that looks like a good amount of points. So now let's go bind it to a bunch of points, or a bunch of bones. So the hips for sure, spine, the breathing controls, the clavicles, the neck. And yeah, sure, let's put the head in there too. So that should be good. Yeah, but she can switch in between the two forms. So she throws a spear, then she might attack you with a knife, then she pulls the spear out, and then she can do attack with the spear again. So let's go see what it did. It didn't even calculate, which is fine, because this is more bones than I would like for it to calculate with. So let's rough it in. Okay, so I'll worry about the clavicles later. For now, I just want to get this body done. What would this actually pull? Probably just a bit on this side. Okay, so let's go down here. This I'll worry about last, the breathing control. It's probably too much, actually. Would this even... This would have really light controls, if anything. super rough. Let's blend these two together. Okay, let's see how rough it is. It's pretty rough. This one needs some controls. Just figuring this out slowly. Okay, so I think it should be good. Yeah, that's fine. So let's see. This is bending a little too much on that side. And it has a lot of control here as well. So it bends too much here. I'm assuming this is going to fix it. I'm not actually sure. That looks good. Okay, so just a little more control for this guy. Not enough harpoons. I don't know. Good thing only one of these characters can appear at a time, because that would be insane if they just like bombarded you with harpoons. How you doing, King? Okay. So that looks pretty good for those. Let's see what this one is. That's pretty decent. As long as I ignore that part. Because I gotta, that's for a completely different bone anyway. Let's give more control here. Let's see what this does. Okay, let's just increase some control around that area, especially on the edges. Okay, cool. What time is it anyways? It's 2:37 my time. I think we're making okay progress then. Actually, I think I want this one to actually have control here as well. Maybe even up here, just a little bit. Actually, no, I take that back. I don't want this one. And I like the control here, but I think it could be lower, so let's do that. How is this one again? A little weak. Okay, let's see. All things considered, I think I like that. Except for this right here. What's doing that? It's looking like this. So let's just reduce that. Oh, it's this. Okay, so see now. It's pretty good. Let's give control back there. I'm gonna remove that entirely. Actually, not completely, but just a little bit. Cool. Okay, so that was that side. This one should have like almost no control. Okay, so I'll probably do this one next because that's kind of like part of this whole thing. And then the breathing control, so is there, no, there's no point there. See how it looks? Where is it? Okay, so it needs more over here. What's up, Akale? Is there a way to make drawings look similar to the DD art style? My best advice would be to go watch like a lot of the early streams they did. Like Red Hook did a lot of like early art streams when the game first hit early access, and those are like super insightful in how Chris likes to draw his characters. That's what I watched when I first did the Falconer to try to like imitate the art style. Okay. So reduce it up here and a little bit here and increase it over here. Okay, that'll be subtle enough that I think that'll be fine. Okay, so let's do this one next. So this part's pretty simple. Separate it off for the shoulder. And then this is part of the hood, so let's do that. Cool. Some more points in there to help it bend a little better. That should be good. Okay, so binding it to this one, the neck, and the head. Okay, pretty simple. 4 bones is manageable. Did it calculate? No, it didn't. So I have to check this one real quick to actually see what it looks like. This one would actually probably control a lot. I'm gonna go back and fix that for this one. Seeing as the whole head bends with it, it would probably control a lot more than I'm giving it. Okay, I like that. That's cool. Now let's see how it did over here. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even calculate, so I gotta go do that myself. So of course this is gonna be a pretty rough first pass, but it's fine because there's only 4 bones, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm liking how it's turning out though. It's looking like it's looking like this is gonna be a pretty cool character to animate. If I move this. It's a good start. Let's just smooth out some of the transitions. And up here as well. How is it connected? Okay, so this part should have some control here. So actually I want this one to have more control. Okay, let's see. So I gotta do something about this. That'll probably also connect to these two. If I pull it this way. Maybe I'll just not animate it like that. So it doesn't yeah, I don't want this to swing too much, so I think this is fine. Well, that should be good. Okay, so I don't like that at all. How would I fix that? Let's see. So let's see how that looks. That's better. I like that. Mostly I just want this to not pull on the shoulder as much. So assuming this doesn't move too much, I should be fine. Cool. I think that's fine. Okay, so a lot of this should be good now. Cool. Let's do this arm. Okay. I'm gonna have to be extra careful in this area because they're so close together. So this will probably end up having a lot of points. Other than that, this should be pretty fine. Okay, that's good. Okay. And then wrap around here. And here. Cool. And let's bind that, so it'll bind to here, 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 and then all of this. Okay. So, what will be the main rewards for entering the dungeons and for the different length of dungeons? So, of course, you know, the main reward is the usual, like the trinket plus gold and heirlooms. The reward doesn't change from entering the Colosseum. Like, it'll always be like champion level long dungeons always give ancestrals, and then the mediums I think give very rares, and shorts give the rare. But the benefit of going into the long dungeons versus the short dungeons is one, going to long dungeons means you have a higher chance of getting the boss curios, so you can go fight the mini bosses for better rewards. It also gives more XP, so you could build up the dungeon faster by going to long dungeons to get the dungeon level up to the level where you need to be to fight the bosses. And by fighting the bosses, you get like super awesome OP trophies that you could use. And then once you beat everything, like you beat all the bosses, then you can unlock the arena to go farm up for all of the exclusive quirks and trinkets that you could get. Okay, so did it bind? I didn't actually see. It did. Let's fix it, because it's probably really bad. Yeah, this looks pretty nightmarish. Let's fix it. Okay, so should be cool. How long are the boss quests? Also, are there any kind of gimmicks, like no scouting, no rubble, similar to the DD quest? It's actually like a... Let me think of how to word this. Trying to think of an example. Okay, so it's like a gauntlet where you have to go fight like scripted mini bosses before you can reach the final boss. So like an arena, you know, like fighting the champion, fighting the lower tier champions to get to the high tier champion, which is in this case the boss. And as you progress through the different bosses, so boss 1 is short, like boss 1 is going to be a medium, then boss 2 is going to be long, and then boss 3 is going to be exhausting, which means you'll get camps in between the mini boss fights to try to like heal up or buff up, because the what this gauntlet style dungeon means is that you won't have time to you won't have efficient time to stress heal or heal. So you have to rely on camping for those, or if you somehow did really good on the first few mini bosses, then you can use that instead to buff up for the next fight. Um, but it also means that you need to build. You have to build a team that not only counters the boss, but also counters its mini bosses. Yeah, an arena-like thing. Yeah, yeah. So a gauntlet. This should be fine, right? Yeah, that's not fine. This one actually, yeah. So the yellow needs control here. Are you going to find someone to make custom soundtrack for the dungeon? If I can, I will. Ooh, that bend is no good. Yeah, it's I haven't actually tested it yet because I'm still working on testing the actual dungeon rather than the bosses. But I'm going to assume that it's doable, but definitely hard if you don't know if you don't plan properly. But you can, it's not like it's darkest level, but that doesn't mean that if you retreat you lose a hero. So you can definitely go in and then test the waters on the dungeon on like the mini bosses to understand what type of comps you're gonna go against, because it's not like randomized mini bosses. It's gonna be scripted, set encounters for each mini boss. So there'll definitely be a learning process. And in my opinion, the dungeon is short enough that you won't like go through and think like testing this dungeon is a waste of time, because the dungeon itself is actually really short. It's just that it's labeled as long because there's a lot of bosses you have to fight. Okay, so I actually need to clean this up a bit. Okay, let's see. Why is it deforming here? It's probably because it has way too much control. Cool, I like that. See here. That's a good start, I like that too. Okay, so how can I reduce that? Let's... Okay, so it's pulling a lot here. How can I fix that? Let's see. It's pulling a lot up here as well because it has control, because the auto thing did that. See how it looks? It's pulling a lot of black, which is unfortunate. I think I can deal with that though, as long as I don't make it too ridiculous. So yeah, something like that would be fine. Of course, a little bit of transition will help. So there's a sliver of this thing up there, which is unfortunate. Okay, let's fix that. This one will probably just bend like this. I don't think I'm gonna really hold like that, because it's doing some really funky stuff there. Otherwise, that's fine. Cool. So I need to do that one as well for a mesh. But this one's like super simple. Okay. And then that binds to two bones. This one and that one. Cool. Okay. 3 o'clock. And we're making good progress on the meshes. We got a lot of the main ones done. Cool. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Let's do the belt. That should be easy. And there's the outline. So then I just gotta put points in the middle for bending. Okay, that should be good. And then bind that to... yeah, that should be it. Okay. Is the harpoon cultist going to be with the boss chariot? No, not specifically. If you destroy the beasts first, then they disembark from the chariot, and then you fight just basic enemies. So it would be this one and the other one with the noose. But they just use the same character model. You don't actually fight the harpoon cultist. You just fight a chariot with 2 of them in it, and they don't use the same moves. They use different moves because they're in the chariot. I'm going to assume it did a good job. Hard to tell. Looks like it did an okay job, actually. So should be good. That should be fine. So all this should be fine now. Let's do the legs. One up here. And then around the knee. That should be good. Then it binds the foot and these parts of the leg. Not this one. Okay. Okay, it auto-calculated. Let's see what it did. Oh, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I just gotta make the transitions a lot smoother and then it should be fine. I'll have to check that when I animate to make sure, but I think it should be fine. And then here. Okay, so then around the knee, and then that should be everything. Cool. Okay, 308, and most of the meshes are done, so animating should start pretty soon. Auto calculate again, let's see. Okay. This might look bad. Okay. So this needs control here. Okay, so that might be okay when I animate. Of course, I won't know 100% until I actually do, but should be fine. So let's do loincloth. let's see. This one should be simple. I think I made only 4 or 5 bones for this one, so it shouldn't be too bad. That should be good. Let's just bind it. I'll bind it to the hip as well, so that I have like a point for it to like swing from. That way it looks connected to the body. Okay. How can you draw while listening to this? Oh, the Darkest Dungeon music? Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I actually have the I have the DD soundtrack on mute on my side, and then I just listen to my own music. But I assume that it's fitting enough for what I'm animating, so most people don't mind. So you know, it's a little secret for us. So future viewers never know. Okay, so I'm assuming it did an okay job because this is a really straightforward line. Or maybe it didn't, because it didn't even give this point anything. Or did I even connect that? Oh, I didn't even connect that one. Okay, well, let's connect it. Okay, now I gotta give this little boy some points. That makes sense now. Okay, so that's pretty rough. How would I change that? Good enough. Kinda hard to see them because of this thing in the way. That's pretty good though. I think I'm okay with that. I don't think I need to change anything. Okay, let's do the rope. So this one should be pretty okay. I think it's like 5 bones total, so. I need to make sure to double up on this side so that they don't interfere with each other. So this is so far worked for this technique of meshing, where I just put double the points like as a line. Like this is like the stuff I actually use to control, and this is the part to negate this side. Because when you have things like this where the mesh is like angular, like that, like an acute angle, then if you only put one wall of points, then they actually pull on each other when you do the controls through the meshes and stuff. So like making this, like making controls for this and moving it would then pull this if I didn't have this second wall of stuff. That's what I figured out with time. There might be a more efficient way to do it, but this one, this technique has been working for me, so it's fine. I want this one. Where do I want this one connected? Same thing probably, so hips. It did auto-calculate, which is interesting. So let's see what it did. Might have done a really horrible job, actually. Let's hope it didn't. Okay, let's see. That looks fine, actually. This one would never move anyway, so. It's good enough. I like that. Actually. Yeah, that's fine. It's good enough for what I want it to do. And then points in the middle for bending. Okay, should be good. So if it auto-calculates, I'm assuming it's going to do a good job because it's a straight line. And it usually does a good job on straight lines. Otherwise, you know, it's not a big deal if it doesn't. Because it's super simple anyways. Does a riposte mark skill on a character seem OP every time an enemy attacks? They take damage and get marked. I don't know. I'd have to do like testing to really figure out if it would be OP or not. It's hard to know if something is actually OP until you do like in-game testing, and even then you don't know if it's actually OP because there's like a lot of ways you can. There's a lot of ways that you could use an ability that you don't think of immediately. That would make it a lot stronger than you would think. Okay, so it auto-calculated, and I'm going to assume it did a good job. That's pretty decent. I'll have to fix that because I don't want that to. I don't want this thing to bend so much. Okay, so it looks like it just needs like little changes, and then it'll be fine. That looks much better. This will probably have to not bend too much. Oh yeah, that's right, I didn't even do this one yet. So I think this is fine. That looks good to me for what I wanted to achieve. Okay. Delete this stuff. One, two, three, four. Okay. What else is left? So these hip cloths, this little rope, and I think that's it, and then we can get into animating. Is there anything else? No, not really. I think it did a good job again. That's decent. Of course, I'll have to fix that again. And a little bit of that. Let's see. Interesting. I think I can get away with it looking like that. Yeah, it should be okay. So that should be that done. Okay, so hip cloths, let's do that. Yep, that should be good. These ones aren't. These ones don't even need to be that complicated because it's only connected to two things. Let's see, 322, we're making good progress. Yeah, I'd like it to have more control, so let's do that. I like that, so let's move on to the next one. And then delete these ones. Cool. This will be an interesting one to animate though. I want to make it distinct enough from this one's animation, but still have its still have like a nice feel to it. If that makes sense. Okay, so that one going that way is pretty rough. Should be good. And then this tiny little rope thing here. I think that's everything. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like everything. And I assume this is gonna look okay because it's super simple. Oops, wrong one. I think that's good enough, yeah. Okay, so everything is meshed that needs to be meshed. So we can get into animation. I just gotta turn on the ones that are hidden over here. So these will be hidden in the animation itself because that's how the thing works. And we are selected on Combat Spear for the animation, so let's do it. Okay, so I gotta set all of these to always be visible except for these ones, which will be not visible. So, okay. Let's space these guys out a little bit actually, they're really close to each other. Let me check what this witch is doing. So I think I want her to have the same motion as this one, so that's what I'm gonna try to aim for. Let's turn off selecting images. Okay. So let's add these to the preset. Okay. This is the hip, I believe. Yep. So would she go up or down? She'd probably go down. So I'm gonna delete some of these ones that I'm probably not gonna use. These are all like previous ones from older animations that I just forgot to delete. Okay, there, nice and clean. So, okay, she's got a heck of a bounce there. So I should probably do the same with the leg so that the motion looks good, rather than really weird. Of course, it'll probably still look really weird. Okay. Let's try a more subtle movement for the hips. Yeah, she goes down pretty far. Okay, so is it the same throughout the whole body? It's looking like it's looking like it, yeah. Outside of the offsets. Let's try something like that. So yeah, now she has barely any movement. I'm gonna try to change that just slightly. slight experimentation. See what I can get. So yeah, it's looking silly, but you know, it's just part of the process. I want to do a more of an up and down movement actually, rather than side by side. Your connection is lagging, so you can't. That sucks, dude. Well, don't worry. There'll be a VOD if you wanted to like watch over this part again to see me fail. Let's see. So let's reduce the movement there. Slowly figuring it out. So these legs shouldn't bend as far anymore because the body is not moving in that direction. Looks like everything's offset as it goes up on the body. Oh, something changes on size by accident. Let's see, where did that happen? Okay. Okay, whatever it was, I fixed it. Okay, yeah, if you want to ask questions to Dexy, that's fine. While I figure this out. Very weird movement, but I think I'll figure it out as I go. This one's probably also going to be really weird. There's a bunch of curios, right? What are the living ones going to be about, like the wounded cultist? It's like usual curios. You know, like you get loot and stuff. Interacting with them without like a proper item could probably result in bad things, but could result in good things, you know. And the reason why there's so many like alive curios is because it makes laudanum something you could use to like soothe them down, and then you could like steal their stuff while they're sedated. Okay, so a lot of this is gonna have to be offset. She's moving really weird. It's mostly this. Rough start. I'll figure out a good movement eventually. It's just gonna take a lot of time. Right now that is not a good movement at all, so let's find ways to fix that. Let's see if that offset thing actually works. This will be a slow process. What about having her whack the pole end on the floor like she's getting herself pumped or something? Or would the movement be too drastic? I mean, we could try. Let's try it. So obviously, there will have to be changes to that to make it a lot more drastic. Okay, so definitely not as high, but it needs to be high if it's like easy movement. What's this? So it'd probably be like go up and then slam back down. Okay, so that's a little quick. So it went down here. Why is it going down there? I'm gonna save that for another one of the cultists actually, because there's another cultist that I was actually planning on having that happen. So we'll save it for that. So let's delete that. Yeah, her animation to be different. I think it's already different because the curves itself on this character is drastically different from this character's curves when they're moving. But we'll see. Plus this one has a lot more weight to it because of this metal stuff. So that's the movement of the harpoon now actually kind of makes me like that animation a little more. Of course I still gotta work on it. Okay, so is she going down? Yeah, she's going down. So I want this to actually move in the opposite direction. Might be a little bit too much. But yeah, there's like an honor guard character. I'll probably use the spear tapping on the ground thing for that instead. Let's just figure out a good movement for this character. Probably like all this stuff flowing around will make it look really cool too. It's a little stiff. Let's try moving the shoulder more. Okay, so now it moves too much. Let's fix that. Okay, so revert. So now that I keyed all these, I gotta set the curve for that as well. So let's see how it looks. Okay, this thumb moves too much. I think this arm actually moves too much in relation to this arm, so let's change that. Slowly figuring it out. What's the size 2 cultist gonna be about? Damage and stress? He's a lot of like, yeah. He's heavy damage because he's size 2, but he's also a lot of like crowd control. Like he shuffles around the party and then he stuns people and stuff. He's like a big fat support character, but he still hits really hard. This could probably afford to move more. Okay, so if, let's see. I want this to bend more. How would I do that? Okay, so now I'm gonna try doing the offsets again. Let's try it. So I gotta keep in mind that she's not heavily armed like this. So these have to be a lot more subtle. Okay, back up. So there's a slight bump, which is unfortunate. Figuring it out slowly. Let's do the same to the arm now. Just messing around, see if I find something cool. Is there going to be enemies that can heal / group heal members in certain party comps? Yeah, for sure. The Harpies do a lot of healing. I think the Harpies are the only ones that actually heal. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, the Cultists and the Abyssals don't have any healing, but the Harpies, almost every single Harpy has a healing move. But that's offset by the fact that the Harpies also have like the lowest HP out of all the enemies, so you can easily burst down a Harpy, but if you like do a lot of like trying to like lower all of them at the same time type of stuff, then they would just all heal each other or heal themselves up. So you can't really keep them at low health because they'll just heal each other. Slowly figuring it out. Let's do the breathing control actually, just slightly. Is this one moving? Those are moving, okay. Just slightly. Like barely even noticeable, which is fine. Okay, so the helmet should also move slightly. Maybe even more slightly. It's pretty good, I think. Okay, let's try this stuff. Let me think how I'm gonna do this. Just going down. So these would bend. Let's see if these curves will work with these though. I don't know if they work with cloth. It's pretty okay seeing as her whole movement's like that. Of course I gotta offset those. Let's do. I think these movements are a little drastic. It's getting there. What other easy stuff can we do? Let's see. Something around here. This one could use some movement. At least some fixes. Let's see. Okay, let's do this stuff. The rope. She goes down. We'll have it swing in this direction. Okay, so it swings in that direction, and then in this direction. And I'll copy that over. Oh, whoops. Edit this a little bit. And then offset those, or not offset them, but put these curves in. That'll suck when I face them. What's up, Essence of Kwai? Yeah, they're pretty. The harpies are annoying, but they're all easy to kill, so it's like whatever. So too much swinging in this direction, or maybe it's too much swinging in that direction. It's one of them. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the curves over here for that instead. So I'll save this for cloth. Yeah, it's a pretty drastic movement. So let's reduce that drastic movement by a bit. Okay, so let's see now. Okay, so I could probably do something about that to make it look cooler. My cats nearly killed each other, so I put one of them in the bathroom. That's unfortunate, but I'm glad to hear that nothing too tragic has happened. Okay, so this character definitely has different movement. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I think it's looking okay, all things considered. These will have to swing around. Okay, so I could probably reduce the movement in this direction, so let's do that. And just make these swing around a little bit. Yeah, she's got a smaller one than this over here, so these wouldn't really swing as much. Okay, so these ones, let's do that. So this way, swing something like that. It's 4 o'clock, so it's been about 2 hours, but we're making good progress. And then they would swing something like that in this direction. and then put the correct curve onto them. Character looks good. Thanks, Essence. This animation's giving me a little bit of trouble though. I like that. Looks nice. I just have to offset one of them. That's really all I want. Now that I'm looking at it, I would actually like these to swing a little bit more in this direction. So let's do that. Swing them over. Specifically this one. Okay, so tone it back a little bit. It's getting there, which I'm fine with. Oh yeah, I wonder what Thrall's set will be since his CC set was more focused on Affliction and Bleed. We'll see. I already know, of course, but we'll see. Okay, offset one of those, and then I think we're good there. Okay, let's animate the loincloth. It'll have to go in the same direction, of course. Copy and paste. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, that's right, I need to set the offset. Okay, so there's too much movement down here. Okay. So I want to give it a nice like cloth look, and I'm not really achieving that right now. I need to figure out why. Maybe this actually needs a swing. Leaks? Nah. Better trinkets for dealing with certain faction enemies. certain faction enemies. I think a few of the sets are kind of like that, where they're like faction specific, but yeah. I'm trying to hold back on the leaks now that I've leaked basically all the monsters. You know, I still want the mod to like surprise people when they play it the first time. I think I'm fine with that one actually. That looks cool. Let's make this knife move around now. We'll have this one follow the witch animation thing. Too much. Let's try that. I want it to move for sure, so I just gotta figure out how. Maybe that'll be fine. Okay. I'll try offsetting it. I like this a lot more. Let's do some stuff with the belt, just like really, really small things. Like just a little bit of movement. And then the belt will wiggle a little bit, so let's do that. Okay, so a lot of the little things are slowly getting figured out. Okay, so I think I've come to accept that this is a very basic animation, and I think I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm liking a lot of where that's going. I'm gonna do some stuff with this hand to make it a little interesting. Let's move the thumb a little bit. Looks pretty good. Thanks. I might exaggerate the movement a little bit more. This offset 3. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mess around with these ones a little bit more. I'm gonna see if I can find like a more appealing movement for this body. I think it's getting somewhere. This hand needs to do something more interesting though. Oh yeah, that's right. Slowly figuring it out, but we're getting close. Let's fix up this leg. I think this could afford to bend more. Okay, so this finger is moving faster than the other one, which is bad. It's a little better. I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try moving her up more actually. Just a tad bit. See what effect that has on the body. Isn't even moving? Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, so she grew like a foot. Just gotta make sure it's actually working though. Okay, yep, that's a little too much. I'm liking that a lot more though. I just gotta fix these legs now. She gets hecka tall. I'm liking this movement like a lot more now. Let me find that breathing control and just increase it just a tad. Okay, so I think I'm liking this. So I'm going to move on to the other animation, which is just the knife, and that should be super easy. Just gonna close those. I could just do it here actually. So what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this one because it's going to be the exact same animation except it's just going to be a knife. Okay, and then I just hide different images. And then I hide the weapons. These ones. And then I'm gonna change this side up. That's about it though, in terms of animations. Let's delete that, because now I want this hand to move rather than that arm. And it'll follow the same animation style. Let's rotate it some more. Let's try moving the knife some more. Okay, so the one concern I'm gonna have with this animation is it might be too bouncy compared to the rest of them, but it might be okay. I just have to see it in game. So I think I'm done with the animation. I'm gonna now export it so we can see it in game. Yeah, okay. So let's go delete all the reference. So it's only the character. Export. Cool, so let's check it out. Let me get it all uploaded and stuff, and you guys can just check out the cool animation. Okay, so it should be uploading now. Let me check it out. Should be, yeah, there it is. So it's uploaded. Let me go download. Okay, give it a second to download. Let's see. So we finished. We finished in about 2.5 hours, which is great. I'm getting faster at these, which is really good news. Okay, should be done downloading, so let's go check it out. Oh, it's your birthday? Happy birthday, Akil. I'm glad that I could make it better for you. Okay, let's check out the Slavehuntress. I'll pause the soundtrack that I have muted. Okay, let's. Let's check her out. So she'll probably do her spear attack, so then we could see her with the knife. I'm assuming Dismas is gonna die though, because that spear attack hurts like a lot. So loaded, no, not yet. Okay. Do you think you'll be able to make the mod one mod only when you release it? Maybe. I'm gonna try recombining the mod together to see if it works now, because that was the whole reason why I separated it in the first place, was because there was some weird error that was preventing it from working. But if it works now for whatever reason, then I'll definitely make it one mod. Oh, bye bye Dismas. Oh, the animation broke. I must have named it wrong. Yeah, I think I named it wrong. Okay, so let's go fix it. Okay, you can look at that again. But I guess the first thing I noticed was this arm movement was definitely being very bothersome for it. But let me just go check the proper naming convention for it. Let's see, Cultist. Let's check it out. So it is okay. So there's no underscore in between no and spear. So that was the problem why it didn't do it correctly. So it's gotta be like that. So I'm gonna try lowering the movement here. Whoops. Because that was like the first thing I noticed, was that this arm movement was like a little too much. So how would I reduce that? Just a little bit. Okay, let's export it again. Okay, now that I fixed the naming for the thing. Oh, you're 18 years old. Nice, dude. 3 more years and you can go drinking. Okay, so have that play again while I upload it again. Okay, should be uploading. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Okay, waiting for that to download. Should be cool. Yeah, I have gone faster at these. That's kind of what happens when you do these regularly, though. I guess. Which is good, because that means I can save time and do other things that I need to do. Okay, so it should be downloaded. Let's go check it out again. Okay, so now it should properly go to the knife animation when she throws the spear at someone. Let's see. Here we go.
These lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead. Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Okay, so I want to change this arm almost entirely, actually. I like everything except for this arm. But I did get a surprise round. Yeah, everything's good about her except for this arm. Okay, let's go change it then. Okay, let me see. I think it needs more bend is what it was. And let's get rid of the offset here. I think the shoulder was moving too much as well. Set up the correct offsets or curves. Let's see. Figure something out. Let's see here. So I think maybe when she goes up, I want the arm to go out. I think that's what I want. Hmm. Okay, so I guess we're going a little bit longer because I want to figure this out before I finish. Okay. Okay, let's see. So let's I'm gonna import some of the older ones so I can compare them next to it, just to make sure. Skeletons. Let's see here. So let's bring in more reference. That guy. And this one. And then I just gotta set their images to the correct folders. Where'd it go? Here it is. And then same for this one. And I'll have to shrink their animations down to 30 frames per second. Or just 30 frames. So they're gonna move a little faster than what they are in game, but it'll help me out here. Figure out what I need. Okay. So I do want this one to move actually, so. And this arm needs to bend. Properly. It's mostly okay. So obviously that's pretty exaggerated, but it's about somewhere in the region of what I want. How much more of the enemies have two forms? A lot of them actually have two forms. Almost all the boss, about half the boss mobs have like two form things going on. There's stealth enemies, so I gotta do the stealth versions for those as well. That one's not that hard though. It's just it's just a lot of work going in and making all the parts have like the stealth effect on them. That's really what I have to do. And I think yeah, all three of like the main bosses have like multiple forms. So this should be a much more interesting movement. That arm is still really weird. Figuring it out slowly. Yeah, stealth enemies. I think I'm messing around with the concept of having one of the mini bosses be a stealth mini boss. Of course, work in progress. So the arm looks pretty stiff, but it's in a direction that I like in terms of movement. Okay, so I guess the good thing is that I can actually compare this to the old one by just switching to the other animation. Okay, so I'm gonna try this version over the other one. Copy this stuff over. It looks like I missed one of them. Which one did I miss? They're all set. Oh, okay, so I need to delete it. That's what I missed. Well, look at the skeletons to see what they look like. It's looking good just as a skeleton, which is usually a good sign. Okay, so let's try this new version and hope that it's better. And you can look at that while I go upload it. This is a cool character though. This one has a lot of poses that I gotta do for it actually. As a character. But they're really cool poses, so I'm gonna enjoy working on that. Okay, so that's uploading. Yep, it's done. Cool. Hopefully it doesn't look as funny. The goal of the animation is to make sure that it fits with all the other characters it's gonna appear with, which is the cultist only. So as long as she looks good with the cultist, then I'll be fine. Okay, so it should be downloaded. I don't want to play Radiant. Okay. Hopefully it looks good. What's up, Essence Aquai again? We just had to do like revisions for the character's animation because it looked kind of funny in game. So now we're gonna check it out to see if it looks any better.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just
Darn it!
ahead.
It still looks really funny.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion.
Okay, so he
All
just
may
impaled
hear of your
Dismas.
arrival.
So the placeholder right now is the bomb from the wolf, but it'll be a spear like impaling him into the ground. Okay, so same deal. This armor is really funny. We're gonna let her kill Dismas. Let's see how it looks. Bye bye, Dismas. So she's gonna destroy Dismas now.
A blazing star is born. A hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
So now I can get a good look at just the characters and their animations to see if it looks funny at first, but now that I'm like looking at it longer, it's starting to look less and less funny. But we'll see. I just gotta stare at this for a long time. Bye bye, Dismas.
Is a tenuous proposition in this sprawling tomb.
Hmm. It's literally just this arm. Everything else is great, except for this arm. Let me think. I'm trying to think of a solution while I'm just looking at it. Okay, I'm gonna try something. Extra long stream, here we go. Okay, so what was the problem? I think it was either how straight it was or the stiffness of it. It was one of those two that was really bothering me about it. So this fixes the stiffness or the straightness of it. So now it's bent. So it looks better. But I don't know if the stiffness was a problem. Maybe it was. But that's something we can fix. Who needs two arms anyways? Yeah. Okay, so let's try this one. Whoops. Okay, so how did I copy the other one? Should just be like that. Yep. Okay. Version number 3, here we go. Okay, look at that while I do it. Upload it and stuff. Hopefully this one is okay. Okay, uploading. Yeah, I like the other two. They fit well. They look like a like a unified party comp, which is great. Except for hers. Her arm is the only thing. Like everything about her is great except for the arm. I think it's uploaded. Okay, it did. Okay, it is uploaded, so should be good. Okay, so I'm gonna hope that it looks good now, or else we're gonna go on for another hour of just revisions.
Ruin.
Okay, let's go.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side.
Okay, so that's like infinitely more better.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Bye bye, Dismas. Yeah, so that's like the move that kills me. Well, it doesn't kill me, but it makes it hard to fight comps with her if you can't outspeed her. Yeah, she looks way better now. I'm liking it like a lot more. The arm movement doesn't look so off compared to everyone else's now. And she moves at a slightly faster pace than this one, so that works well too. Infinitely more better. Yep. It's like I looked at it and it didn't feel like it was sticking out as much as it was before, which is great. So now we can watch Dismas die again, and then we can see her with the spear instead of the knife.
Blazing star is born. Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
Is he gonna survive? No, he'll probably die to the dot. Bye bye. Okay.
Life wasted.
Yeah, so she like rips the spear out of him. That's the attack. And then she can rinse and repeat, so she could do it again. Yeah, she looks way better now. And she fits well with the comp too. This looks like a, my opinion, this looks like a unified enemy comp. Like they all look like they're part of the same faction. They're all moving at none of them look like their animations conflict with each other. Colors are all good. I think it works. Yeah, she can repeat it, yeah. It's a really strong attack, given she's also the weakest one in there. She has as much HP as this guy right here, and this guy's supposed to be the scrub. Like, this is like the scrub character for the whole comp. He gives himself Aegis about 2/3 of the time on the first turn. Thanks, Rumblesaur. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, they look cool. This looks like a cool This looks like a cool group to like run into, and then hope you don't die to. Yeah, he gives himself 2 blocks, but he only ever does that once per fight. He never does it twice, or else that'd be kind of obnoxious if he was just spamming Aegis over and over. Can't wait to cheese those. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, that'll be the stream, guys. So if you enjoyed watching me struggle with this character, like animating and stuff, and you want to see the more of it, consider tuning in next week when I animate a similar character. It's a humanoid character, but has a lot more cloth than this one does. And also consider supporting me on Patreon. It really helps out a lot. It helps me. It helps to motivate me to work faster and harder to pump these characters out. I'm working pretty hard now to try to get as many of the poses done for all the different characters, so I can get a beta going as soon as possible. But yeah, so I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.